and breathe and calm. Get in! Good evening and welcome to the Champions League reaction show. Marseille 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2 at the Orange Velodrome. And we've squeezed the juice out of Marseille tonight. Tottenham top the league and we are through to the last 16. Joining me are my two compatriots, Mr. Sam Spurs for Life and Sean Hurl Hotspur. Good evening, boys. How are we feeling?
I am feeling calm. I've seen a few comments on there, people saying I'm emotionally F from Tom Lowry there. I kept my emotions out of today because I knew it was going to be like this. I just knew Spurs were going to take you through the ringer. They weren't going to play how I wanted them to play. So I was saying to myself, I'm just going to go with this ride. First half, yeah, it wasn't a great performance. We just looked, I don't know what it is with Spurs. We look like we don't want it. We just don't want it enough. The players are so far deep in their own half. It was unbelievable. It took the goal second half to come out and then react like that. And like I said, it was back and forth and it could have gone either way. Let's not get it twisted. That Kolasinac shadow at the end.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk
well
about
done.
all that.
Well done, son. That's probably why they got rid of you. But yeah, that could have been a very different story. But as I said, we turned up in the second half. We've got significant injuries and we still managed to get through. That's a positive. The injuries, yeah, are not going to affect us for the Champions League, obviously now, but you know, obviously league games coming up. But we've got to look at that at another day. I'm happy we got through, but I just tried to keep my emotions out of it because I would have been F tonight myself. No chance.
Sean?
Yeah, obviously I have, as I admitted last night, I don't mind having egg on my face when I predicted that the halftime score would be the full-time score. But yeah, second half we stepped it up again. Bentancur, just a masterclass tonight. And I hope he hasn't done his hamstring in because Uruguay deserve him in the World Cup. And I hope, yeah, I mean, some great substitutions, including Royale.
We'll talk about all that, Sean. We'll talk about that as we go further along.
Great second half.
Yeah.
Could have gone either way, as Sam has already said. But we're through, and we're through as, you know, winning the groups, which we should have done last week. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Right. So before we move on, I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Please leave your comments in the section and we'll get through as many as we can. As Jews Nuts is saying here, new definition of made Spursy made tonight. Sam and Sean yesterday, naysayers are right plonkers tonight. They won't mind. Let me just say, I never said we were going to lose. Go back to yesterday. 0-0. Oh, I'm not confident at all. Who was the confident guy? Who predicted 2-1 to Tottenham? Yes.
Would you have predicted going through like that? Come on. Let's get it right now. That first half, we should have been done and dusted. They really should have done and dusted us, really, because we played awful. Second half, Spurs turned up. So we've done it.
Right. So let's break this down. So the reaction show. Right. Let's start off. Oh, I've gone way too ahead here. Right. Let's start off with the lineup. So he went with Lloris in goal, Dyer, Langley, Davis, Sessegnon, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Perisic, Son, Kane, and Mora. Do any of you want to start first, or shall I have my say?
Have your say.
Right. So the back three, I was very happy with when I saw that lineup. I predicted that yesterday. I'm going to say it now, and I'm not going to say it anymore after that. Ryan Sessegnon needs to be sold in January. He cannot play left back on days, yet you want to put him at right back today. He was awful at right back. Absolute awful. He couldn't run forward. He couldn't run backwards. His passing was awful. I think there's something in the first or second half. He caused it, right? he's just awful. And then for that goal, what are you doing? Kick the ball into row Z. We all saw, well, at first I didn't see it come off Basuma, but you know what? You've got opportunity. Get rid of it. But no, he wants to usher it out and then moan about it. They take a quick free kick, they score. Højbjerg has to be captain for me. What a player today. What a performance. He does more as a non-captain than the captain at the back does. Bentancur, you know what? It's only words, and words are all I have to say. But this guy, what a player. What a player. Silk in motion. Why have cotton when you can have silk? And we've got silk. Mora, I'm going to go with Sean today. He has to go. He's too slow. Every time he got the ball, he lost it. There was times when he could have put easy passes through. He didn't. He kept falling on the floor. Not the best of games for Kane in the first half, but second half he came out. And I know we had a bit of a banter on our group, yeah, that we can't slag Kane off. No one slags him off, blah, blah, blah. No, he had a poor first half, but second half, he done well. Not brilliant, but done well. Son, for me, was again ineffective. Unfortunately, he got injured. And let's hope it's not too serious. That's my say on the starting lineup. I'll start with you, Sam. What did you think of the starting lineup?
I know you give Session a hard day, but no one played well in that first half. There was no performance there. I think Lloris made a good save. I remember a couple of good saves possibly, but there was no outstanding performances in that first half. We lacked cohesion. We lacked desire, not pressing on the front foot too deep, no outlet. Kane was as deep as, almost like in the back line at one point. It's so deep. But I think as well as this is for me now. I know we've seen that 3-5-2 and at times it's not quite worked, but I really think this is the system that we should work towards and have the 3-4-3 as a change in formation, still keeping the three at the back, but having another attacker on field. The reason being, we controlled the game a lot more in that second half. I know that Marseille got a bit tired, but you could see Basuma, Bentancur, Højbjerg were all pretty comfortable on the ball. I saw Basuma do a couple of, interceptions, got the ball back. Bentancur was running all over the place, winning the ball back. And Højbjerg was the same. So when you've got three of them, it takes off the emphasis of two of them having to do that work. And that first half, Højbjerg was in the back line. At one point, I saw him in that back line and Dyer was way ahead of him. And I'm thinking, what that tactic, I'm not sure what's going to work with this, because Dyer, at the end of the day, he's not a Højbjerg. You know what I mean? He can make a cross or two, but he's not a Højbjerg. So they're in the wrong positions. I just think that system's got to change for us to control games. As I said, we got out of jail, but it's the effort levels in that second half. It shows that even a goal down, it's never over with this team, and that's a good thing to see.
Yeah, and that just before I come to you, Sean, Sam, that save by Lloris, who caused the problem?
You know what? I can't even remember. I don't even know.
Young caused the problem, and I think it was something stupid again by Sessignon, which led to them having the shot on goal. Yeah. So that point.
We looked a bit uncomfortable at times. Yeah. I don't even think it was so much the pressure that got to us. I just think the tactics, again, I've said it yesterday, get on the front foot. If we get that first goal, even if they get the equaliser, they were unlikely to really go and score two. Now, I know they could have tonight, but it changes the dynamics of the game. Being ahead means the crowd's a little bit more quiet. You saw what the crowd was like when they were 1-0 up. I thought, bloody hell, this could be a nightmare here. Fair play to Spurs. I thought that was 6-1. I thought Champions League Matchday 6. I was thinking, what's going on there? Sorry about that. So that's me all confused now. I'm out.
Sean, what was your thoughts and reaction when you saw the team lineup? You're on mute.
Not getting used to this mute thing.
Sean?
So I mute myself because I've got this horrible cough. But yeah, as soon as I see this, see a Sessignon at right wing back, I go, oh my God. He's such a left-footed player. He can't use his right foot. And you need to tackle with your right foot. I mean, he gave away a free kick. He kicked a player twice and still didn't bring him down, but the referee gave the free kick.
I remember.
I'm sorry. Sessignon is not going to make it at Tottenham Hotspur.
I agree.
He's not going to make it at Tottenham Hotspur. I loved him as a player coming through, but he's just not got it. I thought Mora. Oh God, Mora. Jesus. I mean, he's dribbling. We win the ball on the edge of our box, and it's given to Mora, so he boots it 5 yards in front of himself when we're surrounded by players. That man needs to go. Thank you for Amsterdam, but you've done fuck all since then.
Yeah,
you're a dead food, as expressions would say. I never want to see Mora in our team again. He's rubbish.
I'm surprised he lasted 85 minutes, Sean. I am shocked. He lasted 85 minutes.
We had no one else. I mean, that was not a match to bring Hill on.
I think it was.
That was physical. I mean, look, when he did come on, he was blown over in the right wing, on the right wing.
Right.
It was. I mean,
Moore wasn't much better. I saw Moore gets bounced off, and then he's there on the ground like this and doing all that.
Oh no!
He's awful. He's terrible.
Yeah.
He's terrible. Like you said, Sean. Thank you for Ajax. It's time to go.
Yeah.
Time to go.
100%.
Oh man, and Sonny wasn't at the races before he was subbed off.
No.
I mean, someone was saying in another WhatsApp group, "Don't you wish we still had Bergwijn?" I tell you what, on this season's form, Bergwijn will be playing in front of Son.
Yes,
he would be. He would be. I'm sorry, he would be. He's a much better player this season. But that's another player that we've let go, and the team hasn't been strengthened in that particular place. I know obviously we've got injuries as well.
That's what I'm saying. We've got injuries. I think we have to take that into consideration tonight.
Yeah.
We've got Richarlison out, Kulusevski out. Kulusevski, I should say. Romero out. There's players in that defense where you'd want them to play tonight if they were available. But that thing with Sessegnon at right wing back, what must Spence think anyway? But what must Doherty also think? He's thinking
exactly
hell. And he swapped it. They swapped it anyway. So I was like, they knew they got it wrong because they put Perisic back on that side and put him on the other side anyway. So they knew they got it wrong. And I don't understand why, that had to be in the first place. I didn't see the benefit. And Glenn Hoddle said the same thing. He was like, I don't know why they've done that tonight because he's got no right foot.
No. And it's, he's done it a few times this season. And I'm perplexed because I just don't understand. Why are you playing a left-sided player at right back when you just said, Sam, we've got Doherty, we've got Spence, okay, we've got Royal as well, right? So you've got 3 natural right wing backs, stroke right backs, but you prefer to put a left wing back, stroke left back as the right wing back who can't play at left wing back, let alone right wing back. And then when he plays in that position, within 10, 25 minutes, Perisic must have said to him, mate, you're playing shit. Let's swap over. Because they swapped over, didn't they?
They did swap. And listen, my point about this is going forward. What it does is the confidence. I know Royal doesn't care. I think he's just in his own world. I think whether he's dropped or not, he just comes on and does the same sort of thing. But Doherty, I think he's a confidence player.
Yeah.
Spence, we don't know if he's got any confidence or not because we're not seeing him. But, we are going to get a situation, as we've seen tonight, if Son's not going to be available for Sunday's game because of concussion, we're almost down to the bare bones. So players are going to have to be relied on. I've said this all season. We're going to need every single player in that squad who's named in that squad, whether they start or not, whether they're on the bench, whether they might need to come on for a cameo appearance. I saw what's his name, Papi Sarr warming up today as well. He might be needed. Bentancur's now come off. I don't know what the state of his injury is going to be. If we go over 3-5-2, we've got Skip and Højbjerg, who again could need a rest after that game tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be right. So we're going to break this up into. We're going to go on forever by the looks of it, but I'm going to break this up into a game of 2 halves because, as you'll see with the slide, right. So this is first half, 1-0 down, Mbembe with 45 plus 2 minutes. They had 69% possession. We had 31% possession. They had 7 shots. We had 2. They had 3 on target. We had 1 on target. They had 5 corners. We had 2 corners. And there was 4 fouls each. Was you expecting this kind of a first-half performance in terms of only 31% possession? I know we've discussed the fans, how loud they were. We knew we was going to be at it. and they were going to come at us from the beginning. But yesterday we did say that we need to go at them first 15, 20 minutes. But I think Jermaine Gina said it as well, and Glenn Hoddle said it as well, that how poor were Spurs first half. Nothing at all. There was nothing, and it was just a matter of time before Marseille scored. Sean, them stats there, are you shocked by it, or are you just now used to that kind of?
Of course not. I've been to see Tottenham live, and I've been to see Tottenham in the stadium, and that's exactly how they are in the first half.
Yeah.
They step off, they try and gain a modicum of control, and they didn't have a shot on goal until injury time in the first half.
Yeah.
And even then, the keeper saved it, but it might well have been going over the bar anyway. No,
yeah.
It's not. It was not entertaining, and worse still, we went 1-0 down because we switched off.
Yeah.
We switched off at a corner. Sucker punch. Absolute sucker punch.
But also, before I come to you, Sam, also, we couldn't get hold of the ball. Every time we got hold of the ball, we gave it away needlessly. We couldn't put 3 passes together. I remember once where Son got the ball all the way into their half, and he went all the way back because he got hounded out by about 3 players. And he I don't know what he was trying to do, but I think he either lost it or he went all the way back.
No, he lost the ball. He lost the ball, yeah.
But we just could not pass any. We couldn't put 1 pass together, and we couldn't even hold on to the ball for a minute, 2 minutes, because every time we got it, we either pinged it or we lost it, or they just came at us. Sam, was you sort of shocked by the first half, or was it like Sean said?
I think you have to rephrase the question. I think you got to think: was you expecting us to do anything differently? Because this is how we've played all season. We've bar a couple of halves, a couple of first halves this season. This is how we play. We have this pragmatic approach. I hate using that word, but it's the word that's the buzzword. This pragmatic approach to our games in terms of our setup. Now, I didn't want to see that today. I wanted us to get that first goal, but as the game transpired in the first 50, that's why I didn't get emotionally involved, because I said it's not going to go the way I want it to go. So I'm going to be frustrated. I'm going to see the first goal be scored by them, which is happening. It's like, we have to have this. So again, doesn't surprise me, them stats in the first half whatsoever. Just surprises me that it was 1-0.
Yeah, right. So forget about the first half. And then if we go overall, Marseille 1, Tottenham 2, 61% possession, 39% possession, 69-31. So over the 90 minutes, the possession still stayed with them. Although I thought second half we'd done very well in terms of getting the ball together. We came at them first 10, 15 minutes, and we held on to the ball. We didn't give the ball away needlessly. And it was them that was sort of, oh, they've come at us here. Oh, no, what do we do? 15 attempts to them. We had 8. 59 attacks they had. We had 17 attacks. They had 9 corners. We had 3 corners. Passing accuracy was 89, 84. They had almost double passes completed, 599 to 315. And passes attempted, again, they had 672. We had 377. So overall, if we look at the first and the second half, although the possession doesn't make any difference, it's still the same, 61-39. Did you think there was a change in the second half? Did you think we played much better second half like we have done all season? Or was it just that they set back, or was it we were the better team in the second half?
It's clear as night and day between the 2 halves. We were far more on the front foot in the second half. We chased things down. Bentancur led from the front. Suddenly Kane was able to retain the ball a bit more. And we seemed to have, the substitutions were. I mean, I thought Basuma was immense tonight. I thought that was his best performance in a Spurs shirt by a long way. He was not wasteful with the ball. He tried to look forward until it was, it was game management time late on, and he would just retain the ball. I thought he was excellent. The midfield it's almost like they weren't there in the first half, but they turned up in the second. And I think that's the major difference. Kudos on the coaching staff. Were hampered obviously by having the main man up in the stands. They rejigged the team to get us into the game, and I think in the end I think we probably deserved it. I mean, Højbjerg should have scored when he struck the bar, but he got it's interesting how he seemed to be dead, and then he like Lazarus he arose and was there to put that ball in the back of the net at the end. So yeah. Very good second half. Certainly, the cliche game of two halves in my view.
100%. Sam.
So tactically, there was a change. There was a change tactically. There was also a mentality shift, as Sean's already alluded to. The subs made a difference. I think obviously Son going off and we having the third midfielder helped to control the game to some aspect in that last part of the first half. Although they scored in the last part of the first half. But then second half, I think the introduction of Emerson made a big difference because, again, I called him just an athlete getting up and down. But that's what we needed. We needed energy. We had no energy. We were also 5 to 10 yards further up the pitch when we didn't have the ball instead of camping on the 18-yard box and Harry Kane being 5 yards outside the 18-yard box. At least he was trying to be a little bit more higher up the pitch. And what we did do well is we kept the ball better. We just kept the ball better in terms of just possession. In that first half, we didn't keep the ball well at all. And you can see by the possession stats by the passing stats that they did keep the ball well because they had the ball. If you don't have the ball and you can't look after it well, that's what happens. And the first half proved that.
And it's like what you guys have said. When Basuma came on, and Emerson Royal, but especially when Basuma came on, we started holding the ball, passing it, pass. We started actually holding onto the ball, passing it around, waiting for them gaps to appear, and then Kane was running down, Mora was running around the wing, Emerson Royal, Perisic were running down the wings, and they were finding these gaps and they were finding pockets, and we were finding the players. Whereas in the first half,
you have to think of energy levels. They dropped off slightly because they would, but again, is that how we play now? We have to expect. I think that's how we have to expect. First half. We're just going to contain. If we can contain and keep it to 0-0, we can nick a goal, all good. But if we don't and they score, we just have to hope for second halves and performances like that once we go behind in games. And we've seen enough of it to know that we can do it. I just think when you get really good teams, like when we saw against Arsenal, if you get 1 or 2 goals up is a real tough thing to come back from at any level of football. So it's not going to happen too often.
Who stood out for you guys tonight then? Because I'm a bit miffed because on BT Sports, they gave the man of the match award to Hugo Lloris. Right? Yeah, they got Højbjerg and Lloris. They had Langley and Lloris interviewed, and they gave it to Lloris, which I was a bit confused. I thought, personally, it was either Langley, Højbjerg, or Bentancur as man of the matches. Who impressed you, Sean? Come off mute.
I thought Langley was good throughout the match. Really, I don't think although he did get turned quite by Sanchez for that shot that Lloris saved. I mean, Lloris kept it decent in the first half, so I can understand why he may have got man of the match. He was, he's under a lot of pressure. We've said here that the decline is in. And we need, but tonight he was, he could do nothing about the goal. He was badly let down by his defence, and so he kept it decent at half time. So I can understand why he got them. But for me, Longley was good throughout the 9 minutes. Glad he got a goal. He looked really happy. He looked settled at Tottenham. Mm-hmm. There's obviously a conversation to be had with Barcelona at the end of the season, and I think. We need to, give kudos again to Bentancur, and I would say best Basuma. As I say, I think Basuma had his best performance in the Spurs shirt tonight. He looked Champions League quality. I would say, didn't give the ball away cheaply, and kept the ball ticking over. Yeah,
cool. Sam. Anyone stick out for you?
Stick out, I would say Bentancur's performance always stands out in recent performances for me, in terms of he brings that energy for us. He seems to bring a lot of the forward pressing, and starts from he even goes past some of the forward players to do the press, which shows me that he just wants to be involved. I think Emerson Rowe, give him some credit today as well. I think he made a difference in that second half, just from his energy perspective. Now, again, could this be something going forward? Maybe he's not a star, but maybe this energy that he does, because he got forward again. It's just his final ball. It's not great, but I've been talking about this for a long time with Emerson Rowe. If he could get that final ball right, if he could get, we might be like, it's never going to happen. So we just have to accept him for the player that he is. And at the moment, we have to accept that the wing backs that we have,
shocking.
I don't think it's the best part of our game.
No, I totally agree with you on that one. And we can have a whole day conversation on our left wing backs and maybe right wing backs as well. Right, let's have a look at some of our comments from our Paxtonians. Do you like that? Call our Paxtonians. Right. Juicy saying here, make Højbjerg captain. Still Wednesday night football next year for our patch off North London, because they play on Thursday because they're effing shite. That's right. We'll leave them to that. Thursday night football. Sean was having his omelette on my mush tonight, but who cares? Yeah. Tuesday saying here, VAR has killed me. I didn't celebrate our goals until after 2 minutes, just in case VAR ruled it out. Same thing happened last weekend when Bentancur scored. Fair enough. Praise to the Lord, Tom Lowry. And he's also emotionally FUCK'd. I tell you what, guys, and I'm going to bring this up, but that miss by Kalanic, whatever his name is, was it Kolansic? What a miss! I mean, what a ball into the area that was! Absolute on the money, right? How he's missed that is beyond belief. Even his manager was on the touchline and he was like, "Wow." I think everybody, I don't know about you guys, but even I thought, what a
shocking
miss.
That's unforgivable. Had one of our players missed that to win the game for us, we'd be absolutely smashing them to bits, because you can't miss a chance like that. Not when it's that close, not when it's that important. It was harder to miss because all he had to do was put his head on it. Luis wouldn't have saved that.
Exactly. And imagine the headlines had he scored that one, being an ex-Gooner coming on. Yeah. They would have been in Lapland, wouldn't they? They would have been in, Christmas would have come early for them Gooners. David Clark, hi from Leicester. What the hell do you say to that? Well, it is Tottenham. And I think as that channel that was showing it on telly tonight have said, what entertainment from Tottenham in the last couple of minutes. Every Tottenham last 5 minutes should be played live, because we bring entertainment. We bring entertainment to the whole country, but not to us fans, because we're sat there thinking, oh no. But for everybody else, it's entertaining. David Clark is saying here, injuries are looking bad. Son, concussion, Bentancur, calf, and Højbjerg leg. Guys, question for you. If Son's got concussion, shouldn't we have then had a concussion sub? And then why did it take the referee so long to allow the substitution to be made? I was a bit confused with that one, because if they're saying it's a concussion, then we get a concussion sub and they get an extra sub. But it wasn't. And then the referee never allowed us to bring a sub on. What's your take on that one?
I don't know enough about the rule of the concussion sub. I don't think anybody really does, because it didn't play out how it should have, as you just explained it there. So I don't know, to be honest. Just looking at what he's put here about the injuries, that's more concerning to me, because you have to look at these players from a perspective of their World Cup as well. A few of them players have got World Cup to think about. You can't just keep running these players into the ground. Højbjerg deserves a rest. I think he's been playing fantastically well. And every time he gets to the point where he doesn't play fantastically well, it's because we think he needed the rest of the game before. So that's what I can see happening against Liverpool. I'm already looking forward to the Liverpool game now. This game is gone, because that to me is a massive game now. Massive game.
Yeah. Sean?
Well, if we're following the protocols, some won't be available on Sunday.
That's
Because
right.
you're supposed to have
What?
10 days off after a concussion.
But
But yeah, I mean, Bentancur did pull up. We know there was that run he made, and then his final pass wasn't quite right. He pulled up at that point, according to Hoddle.
Yeah.
And you know, he obviously had to come off at the end. So, you know, we can't, as Sam has already indicated, we can't run these players into the ground.
No.
But that means, you know, if Højbjerg is badly injured as well, we're starting with 3 untested midfielders.
Correct. But they've not. I've not seen anywhere whether it's been confirmed that it was concussion or not. And if it is concussion, then I'm sorry, but UEFA need to be held accountable because, and the referees, and VAR, whoever, I don't care, all of them. If it's concussion, then he goes off and we get a concussion sub straight away. So if you're saying it's concussion, then why didn't you allow us to make the substitution? So I want to wait for that one. Good evening to Sushan Busal. Have to have a good start from minute 1. Sush, we're not going to get it, mate. We're never going to get that because we've been saying it week in, week out, and it just doesn't happen. Tom Larry agrees with me. Sessegnon is rubbish. Kevin Murray, what a game. Don't care. Second. Okay. Rochi Baby saying, come on, you Spurs. Tom Lowry saying, Christian Stellini's blue and white army. Conte's team selection wonder day, Kevin Murray. I was, to be fair, I was a bit thingy with the team at the beginning, but second half, yeah. The Wanderer returns. They call him the Wanderer. Mr. Mike Hotspur Hustler. Good evening, mates. Where are you? Who are you? Where are you? Bloody love football, don't we just? Especially when we win like that. My house went mental when we scored that winner. David Clark, how many times tonight did Mora lose possession of the ball? I think they've run out of piece of paper and they've run out of stats on him. So forget about that one. Eddie Ryan is saying here, God, how bad was Cess and Dyer wasn't much better.
I don't think Dyer was too bad.
I don't think he was that bad. I think he done all right.
Too bad at all.
Yeah. NS Sports TV, hi, big up. Marseille fans can hold that. And as our assistant coach Stellini said when he was asked up, did you listen to his interview when he said, "Oh, we heard that you lot were kept up all night with the fireworks and that," and then he went, "Yeah, fireworks." He went, "Yeah, they were really good, but I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't go long enough. They were too short." He said they were too short. They needed to be bigger and better. And then he smiled, and I thought, nice one, mate. That's you know what? Give it to them. David Clark is saying here, looks like Spurs are trying to sign Langley on permanent contract at a lower fee for next season. Yeah. Okay, what's it? What else is it? I think they're all agreeing with our shot. Left backs are shocking. Good beats international. He's saying Bentancur, what a player. I put it in the group, didn't I? And I did say to you, if Bentancur was playing for Man City or Chelsea or whoever, they would have been all over him. Absolute all over him. But because he plays for Tottenham, he's just playing for Tottenham and he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. But boy, that, like I said to you, why have cotton when you can have silk? You know?
I think it's very important to know a lot of our play goes through those two midfielders. That's why it's such an intricate position for Conte to put players into it, as well as the wing backs. Those 4 positions, in effect, the 2 midfielders and the 2 wing backs, should be really technical in what they need to do. So he gets a lot of the ball in our team. Maybe in another team he might not get as much of the ball, so maybe that's why he hasn't really excelled. I don't know. I think he's great for us, and I really hope so. But you know, if he went, it's like Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish used to get the ball at Aston Villa all the time, and then people started to question his ability when he wasn't getting the ball at City. That's might be the sort of case for him as well. I don't know, but he's great.
Yeah. Good evening to Azzy. Sean, do you agree with this one? Is Langley a better centre back than Dyer? Central centre back than Dyer?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, in the 2 games that he's played in that position, I felt more comfortable with that position. I don't know what he'd be like against a big hunk of a centre forward, though. I don't know how good he is in the air. But certainly in terms of
He's good in
passing
the air.
out,
He's good in the air.
I think he's certainly good at passing out and not flapping, and obviously he's left-footed, so he gives us a different angle. I'm more than happy to see him play there. But he'll probably need a rest maybe for Sunday. Who knows?
Yeah. Sam, I'll let you answer the next one here. Do you think the team believe they can come back in every game in bizarre ways?
Yes, but there is limits to that.
I know.
You don't want. It's all right going 2-0 down to a team like Bournemouth because it's Bournemouth. No disrespect, but it's Bournemouth. To go 2-0 down to the likes of Arsenal, Man City, those sort of teams. Like I said, if we went 2-0 down to Liverpool, I don't think we win against them. Even Liverpool in the state they are now, because it's teams know how to grind things out. Bournemouth are a little bit naive in that sense. So I don't want to give any team head starts.
Agree, 100%. Hotspur Hustle is saying here, Langley should stay at centre-back for the rest of the season if he is fit. His distribution and possession of ball is superior than Dyer's. Yes, but I think Dyer will still stay in the team. He also said that Bissouma looked good today. Juice Nuts is saying here, Tottenham games is like watching Rocky, pounded early on, but winning in the end. And then we've got Langley, followed by Bentancur, Højbjerg, Bissouma.
David Clark been on the Christmas sherry, has he?
Yeah.
It looks like he has in that Leicester household of his. Wow, what's going on there, Leicester?
In it just. Right, what else is there? It's okay. David Clark is saying here, it's not concussion, it could be an impact injury because it was on the side of the head, just above the side of his eye. I thought it was below. I thought it was more of his jaw. Of his jaw.
Cheek. Someone said he's.
Yeah. But we'll find out when we get the injuries and updates from them. Right. So Tottenham Hotspur 2, Marseille 1, which leads me to where we are, just in case people have forgotten. Let me just take this off the bottom. Where's that comment gone? I've got to take that comment off. Right. So, as the commentator said, at some point, everyone's been top of the group tonight. Oh, my word. Oh, let's have a look quick. Oh, they're at top. Anyway, what matters is what 95th minute. Tottenham played 6. We topped the group with 11 points. Frankfurt have sprung over Sporting and they've finished on 10 points, who also qualify. Sporting Lisbon are in the Europa League, and Marseille, it's arrivederci, au revoir to Marseille, who are completely out of European football. So we topped the league in the end. It was a hard process. It was a difficult process. It was the Tottenham way, as we always say, but we topped the group. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, obvious question. Did you expect us to top the group from the beginning? Or did you think it was going to be as close as it's ended up? Final day, match day 6, and we're all fighting for top position? Or was you confident from the beginning that we were going to top the group?
I remember me and Darius doing the draw.
Yeah.
We did a stream on the draw.
You did.
And we were ecstatic about the draw.
Yeah.
This is not the way I pictured it playing out. No, I thought we would win by match day 4 or 5 at the latest. The fact that we've had to go to the very final whistle, the final seconds of the final whistle of match day 6, means that I don't, without significant recruitment in January, I think, I've just been looking at the groups coming up on the TV in front of me here.
Yeah.
Bruges finished second. Inter Milan have finished second. There's a lot of very good teams who are in second place and that we could be possibly drawn against. So
yeah.
And then there's obviously tomorrow night's games as well. There's some more teams that could go through. So it's going to be tough to progress. But I think I certainly set a target that by the time the World Cup comes, we were still in the Champions League in New Year, which we are. And we want to be within touching distance of the top 4, preferably in the top 4. So we've got 2 games to do that now. one easier than the other perhaps, but yeah, we need to we've limped through, but maybe as I alluded to last night, and other people who've got more of a coaching eye seems to think that this is a deliberate ploy by
Conte.
the Conte, the training and what have you, and not going gung ho because you're playing a game every 4 days.
Yeah.
And it's about energy conservation, particularly when you've got a smaller squad than the other teams.
True.
And
Sam?
we've had injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Sam?
Obviously the groups come out. You think, yeah, this is a good group. You can't really pick much better group than this, but we have to respect the Champions League.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, all not through to this next round. So you can see this doesn't take any prisoners, or it literally spits you out. If you don't perform, you don't get through. These teams have come out. We saw what Sporting Lisbon are like when they came to our place. Every team in the Champions League needs to be respected, regardless of what their name is, because they've obviously earned the right to get there. We need to look at this. We can, on paper, beat any team in front of us, and I don't think you have to necessarily be the best team in the group stages to win the competition. Again, Real Madrid proved that last season as well. But what you have to do is you just gotta you can't give teams gilt edge opportunities game after game after game, because in the Champions League it will catch up with you. There's some really good sharpshooters, and I just don't know if we can sustain that method of playing in the next phase. But it's over 2 legs, so we'll see.
Yeah, and don't forget Højbjerg misses the first leg anyway because he's suspended. So, and you know what's concerning for me though is look at the goal scored and goals against. We scored 8, conceded 6. Frankfurt scored 7, conceded 8. Sporting scored 8, conceded 9. Marseille scored 8, conceded 8. So, in terms of scoring and conceding, I'm right. All of us didn't score enough goals, but all of us have conceded goals. So, 2 -1 -1 0. So goal difference is not very good. So that just leads going into the round 16. If you get a tough team, it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of teams out there that are scoring goals for fun. And
you should have a look at what Bayern Munich done. Played 6, won 6, goal difference plus 18.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm saying. So if you're going to come up against teams like that, I know we're not gonna, then it's going to be a problem because, like you said, Sam, if we give them 2-3 goal leads, we ain't coming back from them.
Give a team like Bayern Munich 2 goal leads.
Exactly.
That's game over. It's done. It's done. So
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying. We have to, because it's 2 legs, and now we are in first place. I guess the second leg is at our place.
Correct.
Whoever we play.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing. I think Conte will play the same way. We'll contain in that first leg.
Yeah.
And depending on what the result is, we'll look to do whatever we need to do in the second leg. And I think the first leg will be a stalemate of some kind, or at least play not to lose.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I was going to touch on the Liverpool game, but we're going to do that on Friday or Saturday? Friday. So, yeah, just to hope that the injury is sustained today and the slight knocks players will come back for the Liverpool game. Otherwise, it's going to be Dr. Tottenham because they've not won away from home.
I like Sean says, let's not take the shine off tonight.
Absolutely not.
Tonight.
Absolutely.
I'm obviously looking forward to the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
But as he said, we're in the bloody round of 16.
Absolutely.
We top the group. We're third in the bloody league, and we're having meltdowns because of the way Tottenham's playing. It's not bad though, is it?
And
it's not bad.
We did it our way, like we always do. So, final thoughts, Sean, starting with you. Final thoughts on tonight's game performance and the fact that we've qualified.
Target 1 tick, and that's we're in the Champions League next year.
Yeah.
We're still a project in process. We are dealing with injuries in a smaller squad, in terms of depth than other teams around us. We are third in the table. We've got a big game coming up at the weekend, but a team that are not in a good form at the moment themselves. I'm happy tonight. I can't be anything but happy tonight. We won and we scored a couple of really good goals. Breakaway goals, but one from a set piece. But I love it. Absolutely love it.
Good man. Sam, final thoughts?
Final thoughts are, look where we are, given the circumstances. We haven't had it easy with terms of players, injuries. We can't moan about it because this is what we've got the squad for. But it's unfortunate that it's probably in the hardest period that we would have had to have this season. Now, if we can get through this period, get to this World Cup, as Sean said, if we get to this, if we're in third place after this bloody next couple of games, I think we're in for a really good second part of the season, or it's even 2/3 part of the season, if it's whatever it is going to be, just less than. So let's just hope we ain't got too many more from this game that's going to be on the the treatment table. But yeah, come on, you Spurs, man.
Absolutely. Do you know what? For me, fact that we've qualified, I know everyone said we had the easiest group, but in the Champions League, no group is easy, right? Every game that you play, it's everyone's cup final. And although on paper we had the easiest group, the easiest groups are always the ones that are the toughest ones because all 4 teams have got everything to play for. We haven't been at our best, but we've managed to get through. Like you guys have said, we're 3rd in the league. The World Cup's coming up, so we've got another 2 games left, I think. And if we can sustain that,
both home games,
2 league games and 1 cup game.
Yeah, Liverpool, Leeds, and Nottingham Forest, right? And if we come unscathed out of them games and we're still in 3rd position, I'm going to be so happy because I tell you why. The most important thing for me going into the World Cup, if we're 3rd, we're still in the Champions League. Come January window, Antonio Conte can offer players that we are interested in Champions League football. And that could be massive for Spurs because had we got knocked out, some players might have thought, well, no. But now we're still in the Champions League. Some of them might think, you know what? They're in the Champions League. They've not been playing the best football this season, but somehow they're 3rd in the league. They're in the Champions League last 16, and they've got Antonio Conte as their manager. Who wouldn't want to say yes? Who wouldn't want to say no to that? So you know what? Bring it on. Get the players fit for Sunday. We go at Liverpool. We take Liverpool on. We play them. And hopefully we get the win.
You're going, Sean. You're going to the game.
Sean's not at the game on Sunday, are you, Sean?
No, I'm not at the game this Sunday. I'm going to the Leeds game.
Yeah.
It's bloody train strike as well, but I'm having to drive down. Stuff that.
You're there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Cool. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to everyone in the comment section. Thank you for your comments as well. Please like, subscribe, and follow PAXTON ROAD TV. As always, we've got plenty of content coming to you. We've got Judge Jody. We've got Talking Points is coming back. We've got Sid Says special. Sean's got a women's football special coming as well. We've got the previews. We've got the reaction shows. They're coming at you left, right, and center, guys. So you know what? Keep coming at us, and we're coming at you guys. Thank you very much to Sean. Thank you very much to Sam.
Pleasure.
Have a great evening, everyone. I know it was a bit of a roller coaster, as Bewitch said, but we are through to the last 16 of the Champions League, and you can take that to the bank.